Hi, I'm Jedi on Horseback, and welcome to Building Basics with Gurreck Clan. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to take your armor that you have already shaped to your body and it's ready to go, and turn it from what it's the standard colors to fully painted and weathered. So let's go. First of all, you're gonna want a space that you can spray paint in, preferably well ventilated. Mine's outside in our backyard. You would want to put down a tarp if you don't want spray paint somewhere, but obviously this is outside and I don't really care. My parents don't care, so we're just gonna spray paint on it. This is my box. It's my box of all my spray paint. So I have greens, I have browns and blacks, and a clear matte, hairspray for some reason, just lots of browns and blues and whites. And then, but most importantly, what we're going to start with is this primer, this filler primer. So normally we use Sintra, which is a type of plastic for our kits, and I highly recommend you do that because it's going to be a lot more easy to work with than metal. I just don't have any extra Sintra lying around, so that's why I'm using metal today. But this stuff will fill in any like little gaps that you have, and so it makes it a lot more smooth than like a metal surface, which is what we're trying to go for with the armor. So using this helps prime it. It'll also help bring it to a base tone. And then after we do the primer layer, which I'm going to do 2 layers because, you know, primers, which is important if you're doing plastics, so paint will stick. I'm going to then use this Rust-Oleum hammered stuff, which, if you can't tell, already kind of looks a little rusted. And so this is the base that we're going to put our rust down. So that's what we're going to do first. Yes. And the reason why we want to use a lot of primer is because you can kind of see here on my gauntlet, which by the way is just a toilet bowl cleaner. You can see here, if you kind of like look the light, you can see where the paint has started to chip off and I've had to repaint over it. So when you use a lot of primer, which I don't think I did enough primer on this, is why the paint chipped in like right there. I need to just put more cinnamon on it, which we'll get to. But yeah, so let me set up it and I'll show you spray painting. Okay, so this is how we have the little pieces set up. I have them set up on little paint cans, any way that you can do to help keep them off the ground. I'll be able to keep them a lot more like level, is what I found. It makes it easier. That way you also don't have to touch them when you spray paint. But obviously pieces are curved, so you sometimes have to touch them or hold them. Like, you might have to hold like it kind of like this when you spray paint type of thing, which I recommend you try not to do that as much as possible because it's really hard to get spray paint off your hands. And in the current pandemic that we have going, you're not going to want to use gloves because, you know, other people can use them. So least amount you can do to touch them is best. But if you do get spray paint on your hands, I have found washing them in super cold water with laundry detergent soap and then washing them again with laundry detergent soap in really hot water and alternating between really hot and really cold water will help like expand and contract the skin so that you can get the spray paint off. But try your best not to do that as much as possible. Obviously also in this current pandemic you want to be using a mask for spray painting, but you don't want to be using the masks because, you know, other people can use them. So what I did, because hashtag broke college kid, is I take a like athletic spandex shirt thing that I have that I love, that I don't super care about the color though, because spray paint gets everywhere, and I basically tied it around like the big sweater part around, and then I took the sleeves and I pulled it behind my head and then I pulled it back, and that way I can then pull it up over my nose and then I'm good to go for not getting it in my face. But it's still pretty breathable and it's not horrible. Also on the same note, don't spray paint in clothes that you super care about. That's my dog, sorry. Because, you know, spray paint gets everywhere and yeah, don't want to ruin things. So yeah, I've also found that your shoes are probably going to be the most likely culprit, so make sure the shoes that you spray painted you don't care about. Yeah. Okay, so there's the first one, spray painted with the filler primer. And so now doing the second one, I can show you guys. So I'm not holding it super far away, probably like, I don't know, 8 inches or so. And I'm not doing it like super hard, like just super trying to not get it like that. But obviously not the best. Also trying to fix my nose thing. You're just trying to get this paint even without globbing it everywhere. So like stroking it is your best option. And as you're going, you're gonna want to make sure that you're getting your edges, especially those that curve, like on your chest plates. But it doesn't take super long for the spray paint to dry. As you can see, like I just did this one and it's starting to dry already out here on the edges. But I'm gonna wait until I can't see a shine on it before putting on my second layer, which will probably take about, I don't know, a half hour or so. And then I'll come back and do another coat of the filler. And then finally start on the hammered stuff. Alright, so it's been about 20 minutes, and as you can see, the first one that I did is completely dry, and I didn't do that one much before the other one, and even the second one that I did, you know, for you guys on the camera is basically dry, except for the part that I got too wet. And this is another reason why you shouldn't do that, because, you know, it takes longer to dry. So I'm gonna put on another coat of the filler primer stuff, and then I'll be back when that's dry to do the hammered stuff. Yeah. Alright, so it's been about 35 minutes. I really wanted to get the second primer layer to dry. As you can see, I've already done the hammered. It's like the copper hammer on this one, and this is going to be our base tone for our rust. And you're really looking for this marbling effect, especially on the edges, because that's where everything will rust, will be on your edges. So how that happens is actually doing what you shouldn't do with spray paint and making it thicker. Counterintuitive, right? So showing you with this one, what you're gonna do, shake it up a little bit more, always shake, is you're gonna start with your really light base layer, and then you're gonna layer it up more. So here we are, trying to make it so I can see and spray. I'm trying to do like light coats. You can already see, like here, I did it more than over here, and that's what's making this marble or do the hammered thing more. So I'm gonna try and do that against all the edges too. So we'll do it again. Sorry, it's like blurring out. So you can see how like this is now really starting to marble here. Trying to focus on my hand instead of the thing. So you're gonna want to like have an idea of where your internal rust spots are gonna be, because you're also gonna want to have those rusted. Or you could just do the whole thing like that and, you know, not really care. Up to you. So I'm gonna do it a little bit more, get a little bit more of that rust effect, and then we're gonna leave it. We're gonna spray it a little bit more. Just doing it the whole thing this time because I'm not really sure where I'm going to put my rust points here. So that's really nice and marbled. I'm actually going to come back and do this a little bit more. Middle again, over here. You don't really need to wait all that long for this one. If you wanted to layer more on, that's okay. You can just kind of wait for it to kind of settle out for a bit, and if you want more, you can add more. Like you can see, like this is already like really rusted out right here, which is like a really beautiful starting point for where we want to go. And getting spray paint on my fingers. So we're just gonna leave it here. So today, like even though it's like late in the day for me, I wouldn't do any more spray painting today because what's next is actually going to be masking, and we really want our paint to be dry before we start that. So I'm going to let this dry outside for another half hour, and then I'm going to bring it inside for the night, and then we're going to let it sit overnight before starting the masking process tomorrow. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning.